The real appeal of this business is not just the revenue per inspection. It's the low overhead and flexibility compared to many other businesses.
Need help finding or researching your franchise and avoiding costly mistakes? Call Franchise Inspectors Broker Group.
If you're looking for a business with low startup costs, flexible hours, no storefront, and the ability to work mostly on your own, there is one industry that a lot of people overlook: home inspections. This is a business where many operators charge around $500 per inspection, work from home, and keep overhead pretty low. But what makes this business interesting is that you don't necessarily need construction experience to start. In fact, many people entering this industry are coming from completely different careers. The bigger question is, should you start a home inspection business on your own, or is it actually smarter to buy a franchise in this space? Later in this video, I'll explain why many inspectors decide the franchise route actually makes the business easier to build and grow. But first, let's talk about how the business works. When someone buys a house, they usually hire a home inspector to evaluate the property before closing. You're looking at things like the roof, electrical, plumbing, HVAC systems, and structural components of the home. Then you create a report explaining any issues that the buyer should know about. It's a pretty straightforward service business. Most inspections today cost around $500 depending on the size of the house and the market. Some inspectors also offer additional services like radon testing or mold testing that can increase the revenue per job. Now, a typical inspection might take 2 to 3 hours to complete, and many inspectors do 2 or 3 per day. So the revenue potential can add up fairly quickly. But the real appeal of this business is not just the revenue per inspection. It's the low overhead and flexibility compared to many other businesses. You're not running a restaurant, you're not managing a retail location, and you don't need a big staff to get started. Startup costs for a home inspection business can be relatively low. If you start independently, you may spend money on things like training, tools, insurance, and marketing. Some people start for well under $50,000. If you do decide to buy a franchise in this space, startup costs are typically between $50,000 and $100,000, depending on the system and the territory. Still, much lower than many franchise opportunities out there. At this point, some people may think, if the startup cost is low and the business seems simple, why would anyone buy a franchise? And the answer usually comes down to 3 things: systems, technology, and support. Because the inspection itself is not usually the hardest part of the business. Building a consistent and scalable company is. One example is inspection report technology. Many franchise systems provide software that allows inspectors to complete most of the report right there on site while they're inspecting the house. You're essentially building the inspection report as you go. That means that when you leave the property, the report is nearly finished. If you tried to figure this out on your own, it might take a lot of trial and error to find the right software, build templates, and create an efficient reporting process. Franchise systems already have those tools in place, and that efficiency can allow inspectors to complete more inspections per day without sacrificing quality. Another big advantage of franchise systems is the training and support. Many franchisors offer structured training programs to help new owners get started. Some even train and certify your employees. So if you do decide later to hire more inspectors, they can go to corporate training and learn the inspection process there and become certified. You don't necessarily have to be the one performing every inspection yourself. Franchisors may also provide mentors, operational support, and marketing guidance during the first few months of the business and for many years. That early support can make a big difference when you're launching. Another thing people underestimate is how to grow a business. Doing inspections yourself is one thing, but building a company that has multiple inspectors, steady demand, and consistent systems is something completely different. And this is where a lot of independent operators really struggle. You might know how to inspect a house, but do you know how to scale a business? Hiring inspectors, training them properly, managing scheduling, building referral relationships with real estate agents, creating consistent marketing that keeps new clients coming in. Those are the things that actually determine whether a service business grows or stays stuck as a one-person operation. And this is a big reason some people choose the franchise route. Instead of trying to build all of those systems from scratch, they start with a blueprint that's already been built. Another important factor is territory. Some franchise systems assign you an exclusive territory where you can operate and market your services. But territory availability depends on the brand and the market. Highly established franchises may already have many territories sold out. Newer brands sometimes offer larger territories or more flexibility as they expand. One of the first things we typically do when someone is exploring a franchise is simply check which territories are available in the area. There's no point evaluating a brand if there's no territory left where you want to operate. For the right person, a home inspection business can be a really interesting opportunity. Low startup costs, flexible schedules, and the ability to start small and grow over time. But if you are considering buying a home inspection franchise, it's important to understand how the systems, training, and territories actually work before you invest. If you want help figuring out what home inspection franchise opportunities are available in your area, you can reach out to us at Franchise Inspectors. We can help you explore different options so that you can make an informed decision before investing. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.